Hey, I just want to give you an update. I went down to my local dealership to check out some really cool bikes. As you guys know, I'm looking for my next new motorcycle to buy. And also, I want to tell you how that KTM deal went really bad. Stay tuned.
Let's go for a ride. You are watching CycleCruza's all-in-one motorcycle channel. Subscribe today. Continue to leave video suggestions, but you may find what you're looking for by visiting my website at CycleCruza.com and click on the menu tab My Videos. And those are a bunch of playlists with all of my videos categorized in them to make it easier for you to navigate through. Some of you viewers recommended the Suzuki GSX S1000. It has the engine from the legendary 2005 to 2008 Gixxer 1000. That has some nice torque. I think this is at 148 horsepower and 74 pounds-feet of torque, and it weighs roughly about 460 pounds or so. Kind of basic looking bike, but I've seen a lot of reviews on this bike, and it looks pretty fun. I mean, this is a bike to consider at such a cheap price. I mean, here, what, $8,000 for this one, and I think you can get these even cheaper. Another bike you guys recommended that has loads of torque is the Suzuki Hayabusa with 100 pounds-feet of torque. Think about 160 horsepower, weighs 563 pounds. Kind of big, man. Too bulky for me. Hey, look, it's the old legendary Yamaha R6. I think the old design still looks awesome. However, this is a top-end bike and definitely for the track. Maybe my future track bike. Hey, check it out. The legendary Yamaha VMAX. The first time I've seen one in person. It looks better in person, actually, man. I hear it has tons of torque, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it still. It's kind of outdated, man. Same design since the 80s. Hey, check it out. The Harley Davidson Fat Bob. Man, I like that redesign. It looks really good looking. Has a 114 motor, 107 pounds-feet of torque. It doesn't seem like it weighs 653 pounds. Feels kind of compact. I don't know. Really cool bike. I need to test ride this bike. Hey, check it out, the Busa Killer, the Kawasaki ZX14R Torque Monster, 113 pounds-feet of torque, 190 horsepower, only 563 pounds, lighter than that Fat Bob, but man, it looks 2 times bulkier. I'm not feeling it. Here's another bike you guys recommended, the Honda CB1000R, I believe, or the smaller one. I'm not really feeling this Neo Cafe design. I don't know, some of you guys like that. Hey, to each his own. But you can't go wrong with a Honda. Okay, let me get out of here. I'm going to tell you how that KTM deal went really bad.
First off, each and every one of you riders should be riding with an airbag vest to help keep you safe out on the streets. I have a link to this airbag vest. It also comes in black, by the way, and links to all my other gear in the description and comment section of my video. A lot of you guys ask me, CycleCruza, why are you in such a rush to get a motorcycle? Take your time. And make sure you get the best motorcycle for the best deal. The reason why I'm actively looking for a motorcycle rather quickly is because this bike was never meant to be my main bike. This is my dessert bike because this 2019 YZ450FX that I converted to a street legal Supermoto, which by the way, I have a build series, a video link in the description and comment section of this video. This thing requires a lot of maintenance, man. Every 10 hours, you have to change the oil, not miles, but hours. And also, you know, about every 100 hours, I'll have to do a top end on this bike where they change the piston and check the valves and everything with the engine. Really, you're supposed to check the valves every 12 hours and change the piston as well on this bike. But that's for race. That's if you're using this in a race all the time, you know. Obviously, I'm not racing this bike off-road, so a lot of people told me that I can get by with 100 hours. And also, I haven't been checking the valves on this bike, by the way. The reason why I got the YZ, guys, is because they say the Yamaha engines, the valves don't move. You know, I've seen countless videos and forum posts, and they say, man, the valves don't move on this bike. So I'm putting it to the test. I have not checked the valves. It has 30 hours. This bike starts up right away. I've had no troubles. Usually when the valves tighten up, you'll have problems with the bike starting up. I had that problem with the Chinese scooter, right? Because I didn't adjust the valves as soon as I got it, and then I ended up having engine problems. So if I have problems with it ever starting or anything, I'll stop using it and then take it and get the valves checked. I'm not going to check the valves. I don't like messing with the engine. I want to let the pros do it. But we'll see. I'll do the test, guys. All I plan on doing is doing oil changes like I've been doing, cleaning the chain, cleaning the air filter, and that's it. So we'll see what happens, man. And then after 100 hours, like I said, I'll do a topping and have the piston change. It only has 30 hours after a year and a half of riding. Because this is my dessert bike. I only ride this bike, an hour or so after I ride my other bikes, at least in the past. That's how I've been doing it. So really this bike only gets ridden like maybe 2-3 times a month for like a few hours. So that's why it has such low hours on there. So I do want to get another street bike rather quickly. I'm only going to keep 2 bikes though for now. So I wanted to tell you how the KTM deal went bad. As you guys know, I had a 2018 leftover new KTM 1290 Super Duke R deal on the table for $13,000 plus tax. Straight up, that's what it was going to be. It was going to end up with tax, I think like $14,100 and something dollars. But I'll tell you guys, I've had nothing but problems with them, man. And finally, the deal went bad because of them, not because of me this time, man. I was all gung-ho ready I wanted to give my money to them. And I'll tell you guys, it's really not, I don't think it's meant for me to have a KTM motorcycle, to be honest with you, man. This is the 3rd time that I've had problems getting a KTM motorcycle. The first time was out in Akron when I was trying to get that KTM 690 Enduro R. And the guy, it was a mom and pop shops, and he said that it would take him like 2 or 3 weeks or maybe up to a month or something to prep the bike after I paid for it. I said, the bike was prepped and sitting on the floor. I'm like, what are you talking about? What prep you got to do, man? I said, I needed to go. I was going on a bug out van trip at that time, and I needed it within a week. And he said he couldn't do it and got nasty with me on the phone. So I said, to hell with it, man. Give me my money back. So that deal ended. And then the other time I had a problem was, I think about a year or so ago, when I was trying to get that leftover new 2017 Super 1290 Super Duke R. And then the sales guy lays the horrible news on me that KTM only covers the engine frame and swing arm with their warranty. They don't cover electronics. He said he had a customer that came in, the light went out, and the customer had to pay $700 or something crazy. I said, what? So he turned me off of getting a KTM. And I actually even did a video on it for you guys telling you about KTM's warranty, which some of you guys got really upset about me because I'm talking bad about KTM. And then a lot of you guys chimed in and said that the dealership oftentimes will cover any electronics that fail. So whatever, man. But anyways, the problem this time was they wouldn't take my payment. I had problems paying them. I've never had that problem before. I bought motorcycles my last 2 motorcycles I bought out of state, man. No problems whatsoever. I gave them a $500 deposit on my credit card. And then I asked him for his account details so I can wire transfer him the remainder amount of the money to pay for the bike in full. And then I had my shipper come pick it up. He said he couldn't give me the account information because he don't trust me. He said I could take his account information and commit fraud with it, and, take money out of their account or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a customer of yours. I just gave you $500 for the deposit, man. I said, I've never had to deal with it. He said, this is what you'll have to do. Get a contact at your bank, and then he'll fax over the account details of them to initiate the wire transfer. I said, I never heard of that. Why do I have to go through all of that, man? I said, so I called my bank, and I asked them, is that a normal practice? And they said they've never heard of that before. That sounds ridiculous. They said the customer always gives them the account information, routing number, and they do the transfer. You don't have to send a fax over and all that crap. So the guy I called them back, and then the owner gets on the phone, and he's telling me, kept going on about they're worried about fraud. And I told him, I said, man, I feel like I'm being discriminated against or something. Like, what is my accent? Because I know some of you guys say I have a ghetto accent or something. I'm thinking maybe he thinks I'm a hood rat or something. Just trying to commit fraud with his account number. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, man, it was crazy. And then so he says, look, I'll give you an option of paying via ACH, where you fax in a check written to their dealership, and then after it clears, after a couple of days, they'll give me the bike. So I said, forget it, man. I'll just bring cash and drive the almost 3 hours out there to you guys and just give you cash. So I got off the phone with him. I had planned to get my trailer, which, by the way, this is an amazing fold-up trailer. I have a link to it in the description and comment section of this video. I looked outside. The weather was getting bad, snowing out there, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing 5 hours of commuting to go get this bike, man. So I'm going to go ahead and pay with a check with ACH. So I called him back. I said, look, I'm going to take you up on that offer of faxing the check over to you and paying via ACH with the check. He said, no, he said, I can't do that. And then he got some other owners and sales, like 2 other people on three-way with me, to tell me that he couldn't accept a check from me because I could commit fraud or something and send a phony check to him. I was like, dude, you just told me that I can send a check to you. You the one that offered that. He said, but you said you're bringing cash. And I said, man, the weather's bad out there. I don't want to drive out there. And so we went back and forth for spent like a half hour going back and forth. And he was getting me real pissed off, man. And then he said, well, he had 4 other buyers that wants to buy the bike. He doesn't need my sale or something. And that pissed me off too. But I said, finally, he agreed to take a check that I would fax him. So I faxed him over the check. And then the sales guy emails me like 15 minutes later with some pictures of the tank showing some scratches on it. I'm like, this is unbelievable, man. When I first called you, that's the first thing I asked you. I said, did it have any scratches on the bike, and did it have 0 miles? The guy told me it had 0 miles, and he said the bike was mint brand new. They didn't allow people to sit on their bikes or something like that. And he said it didn't have any scratches, brand new. And here, after I paid him, now they're showing me scratches on the tank. And I'm like, dude, put a new tank on there, or get rid of those scratches. Otherwise, I'm not buying it. And they wouldn't do that. So they gave me a refund on my money. So they just wasted so much time out of my life, man. I feel like name dropping their dealership. But the reason I won't is because they were truthful about the scratches. Because had I got that bike here with the shipper and I saw some scratches on the tank, I tell you guys, I would have been really pissed off, and I probably would have did an exclusive video, putting their dealership down and give them a bad review on Google. But I didn't do it because he was truthful about it. But he really wasted my time and pissed me off. And honestly, guys, I think I'm done with KTM, man. I don't know. My local KTM dealer that's in Cleveland, they're pretty cool, man. So I may put in an order for a 2020 KTM, because I had thought about getting a 2020 Super Duke R, because all the review videos say it's so much better. But I really didn't want to pay an extra $6,000 for it. But I may do that. I don't know, man. It's just something's keeping me from buying a KTM. I don't know. Maybe it's just not meant for me to get a KTM. I don't know, man. So I'm gonna go check out some other dealerships, BMW, go check out some Kawasaki, Suzuki's, and check out some Ducatis and stuff. And so I'm gonna go do some shopping videos and sit on them. And maybe if the weather's good, they can give me, maybe I can, swing a test ride and do some videos for you guys, doing test rides on a few different bikes. So that's what's going on. I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna make sure I get the right bike for the right deal. And with the right dealership. I'm tired of dealing with these punk dealerships, man. Messing with me, man. But anyways, guys, leave a comment below. Have you had any problems with dealerships like I've dealt with with KTM? Leave a comment and also tell me what bike I should get. Continue to leave those motorcycle recommendations. I really appreciate it, because I've learned of a few new bikes I didn't even know about. That I may be interested in. So maybe you can sway me to the right bike. And I want to talk to you guys about motorcycles like I always do. But that's why I do these videos, to help incite community discussion, because I love talking with you guys about bikes. I can talk about bikes all day long, even though I don't have the time for it. But hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to my all-in-one motorcycle channel.
Thumbs up, check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.